come to the economic downturn that we've seen of late. Has it been difficult managing through what has been really, really tough economic conditions?
It's been quite interesting. I mean, it's actually a great question because, and as I mentioned earlier in the program, when I said to you, because I spend a lot of time in the UK and I'm part of the Sage Group Exco, what we do is we're able to see the different economies around the world. Now, what was fascinating, Bronwyn, is to see how England got hit first, France, Spain. Spain's been hit really badly.
And the story doesn't appear to be over on that front, and Portugal.
Yeah, it's interesting, but the property market there has really fallen down tremendously. Our business is maintained there, but I mean, you do feel the pinch. But watching England about a year ago go into this recession, and America, certainly American businesses, South Africa kept steaming ahead, and it was quite fascinating. Up until about the last quarter of last year, we were growing and the others were falling back. Then
so came that lag effect.
It was unbelievable to see that lag effect. And Australia also got hit straight away. So our Australian businesses, we felt that pinch. So towards the end of last year, we started to feel it in South Africa, and the others started to normalize. Now Australia came out of it fast, and that's primarily because it's such a resource-based economy. And you can see this year already the demand from China and in other countries in that region are picking up. So we can feel our businesses are performing well in Australia. England, there's a lot of talk about it normalizing, but in South Africa, last quarter of last year and the first, we felt it.
When you saw the UK taking the downturn and the other territories that you've mentioned, whereas, as you say, we were still on an upward growth curve, did you start thinking we have got to make plans in South Africa for what is going to hit us, or did you think that we would continue on that upward trend and remain completely isolated from the rest of the world?
Well, I was optimistic, so I didn't believe we would be, you know, as kind of as hard hit as we as a country as we have. Although our business, I mean, to be fair, has been pretty resilient because loads of our customers, or most of us, are license based, so we get a recurring flow of revenue based on the fact that our customers pay us annually to use our applications. So we are, I just want to make a point, we are protected, but you feel it from the demand from new customers. So on the demand side from the new customers, you don't feel that same, like, you know, that really pump in demand that you felt last year.
Did you need to cut?
We've been fortunate we have not cut here. We cut in most other countries. We did cut heads. In South Africa, we were determined not to, and we haven't. In fact, last year we even hired. Although I talk about a tough economy in the last quarter of last year and the first quarter of this year, we still have not as yet had to cut. We've just been more, let's say, diligent in the way we manage our costs.
What is the visibility now? As you allude to, your geographic footprint is relatively robust. There's much being made of the pigs, the Portugal, Italy, Greece and Spain. You mentioned that you have got exposure in Portugal and Spain. There's a lot of discussion around a potential double-dip recession. What is your visibility? Are you seeing a patchy global economic recovery?
You know, I've just got back recently from the review of the Spanish businesses, and it was quite fascinating to see, because they took us through what had happened last year, and you kind of felt for them when there was a slight decrease. But in terms of, I think in the business we are in, I can't clearly provide an indicator for you, Bronwyn, because we've sold, we have a reasonably dominant position in the countries we do business in terms of our user base, because we serve the bulk of the SMEs.
And you're relatively defensive, coming back to my earlier comment, in that everybody needs a CRM package, be the economy in an upturn or a downturn.
Yeah, but we've sold these accounting and payroll applications over many years in the different countries. And because of our business model, as I said, we have that resilience. Where you do
Does that translate into annuity income?
Yes, so we have a massive,
what is your percentage of annuity income?
It's close to 70% in terms of our license fee renewal. So it depends how you look at it. There's different ways to look at it.
So you aren't affected
we are affected in terms of the demand for new sales. So that's where you feel it. And SMEs generally are more resilient to larger businesses. So we have different levels of applications. In our more enterprise type application, you can feel that the decision-making process and cycle takes a lot longer. But you are feeling the demand. You know, you do feel the demand coming back. England, certainly, you're starting to feel it slightly, and even though Spain has had a tremendous impact by the downturn of the global economy, you know, our businesses have held up reasonably well there.
When should a small medium business take on an accounting package, such as one that Softline has developed?
Well, we've got entry-level packages. So from the day you start your business, you can just load it on. And now we've recently developed our which was about 9 months ago, we launched our online accounting package. So what they talk about cloud technology, what it means is they call it cloud technology because the system sits on the internet, which is in the cloud. So we've launched our first online application, full-blown accounting system, where anywhere in the world, via a web browser, you can download it. So if you, for example, have a South African business, you're traveling to the UK, you go onto the internet in the UK, you'll be able to see what's going on in terms of your transactions because your business is not sitting on a desktop anymore, your business application.
What's your leadership style?
Well, that's an interesting question. Flat. It's a flat leadership style. I mean, I'm very casual. I mean, we don't have, it's not a formal environment.
You don't have layers within
No,
the
definitely not.
organization
We don't
and
have
reporting levels and red tape, etc., etc.
Not at all. It's a very flat structure. We like to think of ourselves as a team. Open door policy.
What about accountability? Is that high on the
I
agenda?
mean, there is accountability, but accountability is based on your job description. You know, you don't earn respect from people by telling them to respect you, because that's not the way to get. You earn respect by earning respect. You know, it's how you behave, it's what you do. You know,
what do you look for in people that you employ?
Always somebody who's better than me at what they can do, because if you have a certain talent and you can surround yourself by people with that talent, or you can help them to emulate that talent. I mean, how do you grow your business? If you think you're the person who's growing a business, and you now, well, how are you going to grow the business? Because you've only got X amount of hours in the day. You've got to create extensions of your talent.
Do you find it easy to delegate?
Very easy. At first it was tough. When I moved from a private company, that was an interesting milestone in going from private to public, to moving away from the daily operations. When I say moving away, not to be as active as one was before, and delegating that responsibility to other people. So I think you got to, you know, we say to people at, you know, certainly at Softline, we say, if you don't like what you do, don't come to work. Why would you be at work doing something you do, which is a big part of your life, if you don't love it? You've got to be passionate about what you do. You've got to actually love. We create a great environment. I mean, look at our Johannesburg centre. We've created this beautiful building with great facilities, and we have a state-of-the-art gym, and we promote health in the workplace.
It doesn't sound as though you're an 8 to 5 stickler.
No,
are you flexible? People do their job, you're happy with that?
You don't watch the clock. I mean, you get your job done. I mean, I don't have a problem, you know, within reason in terms of that. And also, it's important for, you know, people often say to you, it's an interesting question. So what comes first, your customer, you know, or your employee or staff or team member, whatever you call it, what comes first, or the supplier? Now in our case, we don't deal with loads of suppliers, so that's one I'll exclude. But I think my staff come before my customers, because if I can create an environment where people are truly happy, truly inspired, love what they do, and enjoy coming to work, by default, my customers will have a great experience. I mean, we promote this term extraordinary customer experience, which we really push, because it's all about service in our business, and the customers having a great experience by using your product from the time they receive their application. But
you need happy employees to execute on that customer satisfaction.
You've got to have inspired people. So you've got to be inspired yourself.
Money inspires people. Does that form part of the equation?
That's an old-fashioned policy. That always will. You know, money will inspire people.
And what is your reward and remuneration
policy? Think, I mean, we like to say in some cases above average, I'm sure in certain cases below, but in most cases we try to reward what we believe is generous.